So the first two matches I played, I'm really happy with how I played. Looking back at the games, I think I played well. There's probably some little mistakes and maybe one biggish mistake, but like the games are pretty good. In my third match, I completely collapsed. Every game I played is a travesty. Actually, my losses were the least bad of the games, weirdly enough. The first game, you probably won't be remembering what was in the last video, but I'm gonna complain. The first game, I completely missed two different wins. Either of my cards in five, and the third to last move was just a win. I spotted afterwards that one was, but they both were just absolutely ridiculous. And my previous move was bad. They had better plays than the move in six that gave me the wins. I might have been lost there. And then in the second game, it would have been very hard to save given my far side reply to their starter. And in the third game, I think my far side reply was just losing. So, given that my far side replies to their corner starters were terrible, I played okay after that. I think it was fine. But I have not impressed with my far side plays, which sort of incentivizes me to wanna. I'm gonna while I keep talking, I'm gonna draw the randoms, but it sort of incentivizes me to want to keep playing these far side plays to prove I can do things with them. You know, they don't have to be terrible. And then in the fourth game, I did get a win out of it, but they should have blocked one of six or eight. My move in five was bad. I rushed it. Bad move, just bad play. And I should have lost that one too, I think. So I think weirdly my two losses were my best games. And my draw and my win were horrendous across the board. So I really wanted to keep playing. This is the same night as the others. I really should stop. I think I'm losing the brain for triple triad, but I wanted a revenge match against Strong Profit after having been completely whomped. Took a little while to rest up and prepare myself. You know, look at the games. And who is first turn? I have second turn. Let's make sure everything's working. Sound's working. All right. So let's click AI move and try to get revenge on Strong Profit. Who's definitely going to play 936A and 9. I don't try a lot to look at the hands, but that seems very clear that they were the kind of AI that would do that. So I have this part well covered. So I'd really like to cover the other part, the other side of their starter. This is one way to do it, but I'm not good at taking that back. In fact, I'm not good at going down in general. This could be interesting. Does it set them up or me up more? I think it sets me up more. But I don't like that they have combos on both my cards for 8. And I don't want to give up all my left power like that. So maybe this is the way to do it. I hate that I'm so bad. Sorry, all my right power. I hate that I'm so bad going to the right, but at least I have good access to their starter. Moves in 5 are always, I don't know. I like them, but I think they're risky. They give a lot of options. It's very easy to lose in the resulting positions. So they did not use a card that they need for recaptures, so I don't get any free plays that way. There's safety, but they have combos that I do not like. That just sets them up more. Okay, I do have this combo in 2. That might prove useful someday. I'm thinking of taking. Alright, this is a weird idea. Thinking of taking to draw out Ject, so I can then play Inject in 8, so I can then play safely in 7, but they probably can play elsewhere. They didn't, though. So my idea was to go here. And if they go in 4, I have a tie in 2. Can we do anything cooler? Could we go here? If we go here, it's 6-4. They can play in like 3 or something, and I can only take... Can't quite get away with that, I don't think. But it's an idea. That's not enough. Alright, it's the best I saw. If there's better, didn't see it. And yeah, they had to do this way, because then they don't get comboed and they have the take at the end. But okay, we started off without losing, and I think less I cannot speak. Disastrously than last time. Gain a rating point, big win. And we're 2062, half a half. I think a more comfortable game than perhaps the last ones. And we'll draw a new random. I liked my move in 6, though I might have had better. I think I have a real bias, especially with limited time, and this is a really, I think, clear thing in my play, is if I can see a clear path to something, I will usually take it, right? So I thought 6 was forcing, so I bailed out into the forcing line, and I've talked about this before, but I think this is a really clear example of anything in 3 or 7 is kind of vague, and unless I could see the clear thing it was accomplishing, I was going to be drawn to something that was force the action, right? I go 6, now I feel I have to go 8, and I see an idea after that. And a move in 3 or 7, they can go in so many squares that it's much harder for that kind of move to appeal to me because of my stylistic biases towards lines I can see and solve. And I think that often serves me well, but it can definitely mean I miss some wins in favor of ties. But it can also mean, sometimes, maybe not always, but it can mean I'm harder to beat because I'm going to find that clear path to safety or to something. At least that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. So, alright, we put in the new random. Let's see what we got. Tied game 1. Lost the first match to Strong Profit. 2.5, 1.5. So, hoping to get revenge here. Who is first turn? We have second turn. We have second turn last time? Yeah. Alright, second turn again. It's interesting. I've noticed on first turn, I think a lot of how to reply to their starter, which are usually corners with these AIs, though I have AIs that don't always go corner starters. But on first turn, I think a ton more about the directionality of the game. I think you have a lot more control of it. Just an interesting difference. So here, I do not address their starter at all. Can I set up for it? This sets up for it beautifully. Cyan A882 is just dominant, but we have time. Do we have any other setups? Why are we taking time when we have such a beauty of a move? It sets them up one way, but they have neither way on their starter, so it gives really good control of their starter. The one downside is if Cyan is flipped by 4-6-A8, they might get a bunch. So if I play here and they go 6 and I play Cyan in 2, they have a move in 3, but this is very hard to turn down. But if I were them, I would calculate, alright, if I block 4, they kind of have to go Cyan in 2, and I have this move that's safe in 3, and that looks like an advantage. So this is the kind of line where I would look for something forcing if I was them. Will they do the same? No, they will not. So they don't have control of... Oh, they do have control over their starter. Sorry, I set up 4-6-A8 for their starter, as well as 8-A2-7. I was thinking they were using up their only control. But now it's interesting, because that card they need for both 4 and 6. They need it for both 4 and 6. I really want to block 3. I just don't like them having that square back, but I also don't want to leave the 4 and 6 paired squares open. Because they have good moves in 4 and 6, and they have nothing in 2 and 8. But I don't have anything in 8 either. So my instinct was to block 3. And I will. Complicated position, not sure about that. They go in the far corner. So which squares do they have best? They have summon 2. I did set up 7A safe 7-4 for 6. That's probably not great. Alright, so the instinct is just to take this because they can't take it back. And then... yeah, neither of their cards is great in the remaining squares. But I think they tie in 2. I go up 6-4, they take 2 things at 6-4. I take 2 things from 6, and they take 1 back. That's a tie. Is there... yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I think I may have had better. Ah, they don't go in 2. Did they screw up or sneaky snake me? I feel like they screwed up. No? I should start the clock, oops. But, can I just take? 13, 14, 12, 17. Yeah, I can just take. So, okay, we win 6-4, but I think they made a late game screw up. This is pretty late for these AIs to screw up. I thought they should have played here. But they shouldn't, because I could have played an 8 too. So is this just busted? I thought they had enough here. Alright, well then I'm happy with it. I clearly didn't calculate well with 4 moves out. But I will happily take the win. I think pretty lucky to have the 5 move on their starter, but kept the tension decently, I hope. That's one of those games you look back at, and there are just so many moves to look at that you probably played wrong. But very happy with the win. That's going to be 17 points for me. More like 17 and a half. That's a new peak rating. Yes. Because this is clearly what the audience cares about. It is not. But I like having goals. So I will take it. Wait. Is that the first game or the second game? That was the second game, right? And I won it, not them. What am I doing? Did I lose a game? I just put in the result wrong. Yeah, okay. We're good. Alright. So 1.5 to a half lead. Revengeance is going to be sweet. I think I just unironically said Revengeance, didn't I? Man, Metal Gear Solid got in my head. Is that not just the hand we just saw? No, that's a new one. Okay. Maybe I'll set up the randoms so they can't have rares at some point. I tend not to think rares are very fun to play with, but horizontal or vertical rares I think are more interesting than corner rares. But I am generally not a person who enjoys rares. I think this is well known. And I will have first turn in game 3. Can we hold the lead? Pleased to have one, given the absolute disaster that last match was. I'm starting to think that I probably can put up plus scores against the Prophet level opponents. So, already forgot who was first turn. It's me, yay. So we'll start the clock. Alright, their directional strengths. They look very weak to the right, and probably good enough up given that I don't have an A down. So it looks like they're weak to the right. Now, I don't have any A's up or down. That's interesting. So if we go here, I can combo all their captures in 6 back, and they don't have a way to capture in 2. So that looks uncomfortable for them. I also do have good recaptures on it with the 5, 7, 7, 9, and 2, and less good recaptures in 4, but I'm less likely to need those because they don't have the capture in 2. So I think this is a little awkward for them. I'm not sure. I should also look at my big corner, but that doesn't look good. Also, this is worth considering, but I am too low on time for it. I like my mid-strength corner starters. I'm a big fan of that kind of play. Just something that tries to be just a little tricky for them. Not trying to do huge things, just make the cards harder for them to take than for me. So I always like going in the in-between square. I don't have good down power, though. Do not have good down power. This did set them up in 2. They do have a good recapture. But they still won't have anything. If I hold on to this and this, they won't necessarily have anything for 6 to capture with if they need to. These 2 cards might be good endgame sweepers for me. Oh, this might be good if the top fills up. So my instinct is to play this here. And then hope I can find ways to control 5, which I think I can, because if they use their 9-3-6A to recapture in 4, the 9-5-A4 is their card for 5, and 8-1-8A from 8 can control that. So I think I can control their L's here. I think this is a kind of position I play pretty well. I didn't see they had that recapture, so that throws everything I said out the window. Yeah, that throws everything I said out the window. So as I was saying, I do not play these positions at all well. I'm a complete disaster. Huh. So I wanted to just play something like this. Do I control 5? Kind of. I have combos both things they can do in 5. Neither one of those can they combo back. So I do kind of control 5, actually, after all, which is like the big goal. Potentially they could play 6, though, but I have 6 pretty well covered, too. Looks hopeful. This is usually a good way to pressure. I like these long L's. If you can control 5, I think they usually favor the first turn player. So let's click AI move. Yeah, so they didn't see a thing to do. And hopefully we can bring it home now. Can we? So if we go here, we give them everything. If we go here, we give them everything. Ooh, this might be bad. If we go here, we just tie. We go here. Probably a tie. If we go here, we lose. And if we go here, we tie. Huh. Alright, I forget which move's tied. Let's play this one. No, that one loses. Oh no, what have I done? I completely forgot which move's tied. I had to play that way. What have... Oh. So, I think we've all had that happen. Didn't ever stop the clock, but that's okay. The game had ended. Completely forgot which moves I had analyzed, just going through them looking for the win. Oh, what a disaster. Alright, that one hurts. That's bad. Just not enough time left after the calculation. Should have taken a tie. We're going to lose about 15.5 points here. And the match is tied up again. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. I can take solace in it not being bad triple triad play. It's more terrible decision making and controlling of time. But good move in 9 from them. And I blew it in time trouble. Whew, that hurts. Alright, so we go on to game 4. I feel pretty down right now. I will say, I think this happens to the best of us. I remember Delial, when playing in one of my tournaments, said, you know, I feel like I had a tie somewhere. What was it? I've completely forgotten. And I'm sure if he had a timer on him in that moment, it would have looked just like this looked here, but it's dark to have and to have recorded too. So, okay, who gets first turn in game 4? Gotta take a deep breath. We have first turn. Maybe we can get another elongated L. I really thought that was great pressure for me, and I think it was. I think the move in 9, like maybe it wasn't the only tie, but if you have to find a move like that to tie, it's very hard to save those. But what a collapse. It's taking a sec to boot up. There we go. Alright, so let's start the clock. And just cry. Alright, directional weaknesses. They are terrible to the right. Okay, this is something to work with. They're good in other directions. What about us? We're... Sorry, they're terrible to the left. I can't... Ugh. Brain's fried. Alright, we're pretty bad going up. They're terrible to the right. So moves like this are somewhat viable. I don't really want to go up. What happens on this? Looks annoying for them. They have a lot of ways they can take, but most of those look like I can probably deal with it. Not sure if this was better than the side starter. Really don't know. It does give up... It is a powerful card to give up, I think, here. Okay, they're not directing the game up. That's nice. They did give themselves a way to capture an 8. But I'd like to keep beating at that left weakness. This... I like that move for them. I'm not... My instinct is confused. How my moves set up their cards too, but I think this is still a little easier for me to take than it is for them to take. It does give up my capture in 6 though. So bad going down, but it is the move. Can't just spam a move without having considered it. So, yeah. So they're using my down weakness. I should probably keep playing this way. Looks like a tie, though. Can I spice it up at all? Which cards do I want to hold on to? This card does stop them going in 2, potentially. Or at least make it a little less comfortable. So maybe I should use this one. That looks like it might be trickier for them. And try to make the game side to side. Alright. So if we're making it side to side, I'd have to go in 5. And I probably want to go in 5. This looks like a win to me. I think Uber is gonna finish this one off. Yeah. Whew. Whew. What a relief after such a calamity. Oh man. Alright, that's 25-point difference, so it's 17. And we win the match number 4, 2.5 to 1.5. I am feeling exhausted. It's been a long time since I've cared about Triple Triad and sort of broken myself over it. But that was dark times. I hope these games have been fun to watch. I've recorded my first 4 matches all in one day, and they were fun, but I am now quite tired of Triple Triad. Not like in any permanent way, but in a... This was a lot of effort, and had to think, especially because it's 1 minute, and you don't have the time during their turn to take a breath. And so, all a little more panicked than I'd like to be. I think, as an overall kind of look at my game, I think I had some calculation issues in the late game that definitely need some work. There was the terrible time management in the previous game, but also, in general, I should focus on just, with 3 moves left, just making sure I check every move, and making sure I remember what my evaluations were of those moves, and don't just panic play a move. I think in the early game, I mostly did okay. I did a decent job taking advantage of directional stuff, and I think I found decent starters, but my replies to corners with far sides were disastrously bad. So I have to think a little about when and where I'm doing those and what my priorities are, because I think those were a real weakness. And they tended to come up in situations where I didn't see another obvious move, but they were not the answer in those spots, and they put me either in immediately lost or very difficult positions. But overall, I think these were pretty good 16 games with a bad stretch between games. I can't even do math anymore, 9 and 12. But other than that, I feel pretty good. I think these were good. I'm liking them. I'd like to get past 2100. I think I can do that and see how far I can rise. So, cheers. Hopefully, these were fun to watch. Cannot believe that game 3. What a nightmare.